Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into something pretty interesting today. It's a new way of thinking about entrepreneurship education,
Okay.
especially in places where, resources might be limited. We've got this research paper by Vikas Bhatnagar, and
Yeah.
it's got me all fired up. Just imagine like a system that helps anyone become an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, no matter like where they come from.
Right.
And we have a fantastic expert in education and business development to help us unpack it all. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So first, can we paint the picture for our
Yeah.
listener?
Yeah.
Like, what's the situation on the ground right now? What's the problem Bhatnagar is trying to solve?
Well, business schools in developing countries, they face a real challenge.
Okay.
They're expected to produce all these successful entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
but, they don't always have the means to do it. Accrediting bodies, the big ones like the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Businesses, or even the National Accreditation Board in India. They want to see those graduates actually, launching businesses.
Right. It's not just theory anymore. It's like,
Yeah,
go out and make it happen.
exactly. Real world results. But here's the thing. Building the infrastructure for that kind of hands-on learning,
Yeah.
it can be really expensive.
I bet.
You need incubation centers, you need seed funding. A lot of schools in developing countries that just don't have that just readily available.
Oh, I totally see that. It's like saying, okay, go out and be a champion swimmer,
Right.
but there's no pool.
Mm,
You need that environment to really learn and practice.
exactly. A great analogy. And that's where Bhatnagar's paper comes in, right?
Okay.
He proposes this framework, and it's built around two big ideas: equifinality and an ideographic approach.
Okay. Equifinality. Hold on. Break that down for me a little bit.
Sure, it means that there are many different paths to reach the same goal. So think of it like we both need to get to work, right?
Yeah.
You might take the freeway, I might take back roads. We
Yeah.
both get there, right?
Right. Different paths, same destination. So
Exactly.
you're saying it's not about following one single path.
Not at all.
It's about finding your own way.
Exactly. Now apply that to entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Just because one company got a huge investment doesn't mean everyone needs that. You can bootstrap, you can find investors later, you can build a business through community support.
I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer, especially for people who don't have access to those traditional resources.
Right.
Okay. What about ideographic approach? What is that?
Okay, so that focuses on the individual. Instead of a one-size-fits-all curriculum, it's about tailoring the learning to each student, their strengths, their resources, even their social context.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of like a personalized roadmap for each student.
Yeah. Exactly. And it moves away from that traditional entrepreneurship education where it's all about, lectures and textbooks.
Yeah.
Bhatnagar is saying entrepreneurship, it's way more than just knowing the facts. It's about mindset, motivation, resilience, using what you have.
So we're not just filling a bucket with information. We're trying to like light a fire.
That's a great way to put it.
But how do you actually assess all of that? Like the psychological and social resources.
Right.
What does that even look like in practice?
So he uses questionnaires, assessments,
Mm-hmm.
looks at things like entrepreneurial mindset, growth mindset, even cultural preferences.
Oh, wow. So like you get a personalized report card at the start of the course.
Yeah, you could think of it like that.
That's really amazing.
And it's not just individual strengths, it's understanding their social context, because in many developing countries, family and community play a huge role in supporting new businesses.
That's a great point, yeah. You might have mentors, networks, even financial support right there.
Yeah, exactly. So this approach is saying, tap into what's already there, see those as assets, not limitations.
I love that. We're not focusing on what's missing. We're celebrating what's already there.
Exactly. It's reframing the whole thing. Instead of, I don't have this, I don't have that, it's, okay, what do I have and how can I use it?
That is empowering. I'm really seeing how this could level the playing field for these aspiring entrepreneurs. So how does this translate into action? Like, how does knowing all of this actually make someone a better entrepreneur?
Well, and that's where things get exciting.
Okay.
We'll dive into that after a quick break. Stay with us.
All right, we're back. So this self-awareness stuff,
Yeah.
how does that actually like translate into action? It's one thing to know your strengths, but how do you put them to work?
Well, one big thing Bhatnagar talks about is shifting the focus. It's
Oh.
not about external competition.
Okay.
It's about internal growth.
Interesting.
Instead of comparing yourself to others, what if you compete with yourself? Set personal goals, celebrate your own progress.
So not keeping up with the Joneses, it's about running your own race, your own pace.
Exactly.
But I do wonder if you're focusing so much on individual strengths,
Yeah.
doesn't that downplay competition in the market?
That's a great question, and Bhatnagar addresses that. It's not about ignoring the competition. It's about knowing true success comes from your unique strengths, finding your niche. Competition can be motivating, sure, but it can also be really distracting
Yeah.
if you're always comparing yourself to someone with different advantages, you know?
Right, focus on what you can control, your own growth.
Exactly. And that's where the ideographic approach really shines. You understand your strengths, your resources, you tailor your plan to fit your goals. It's about ownership.
It's not just self-awareness then, it's like self-directed. The
Exactly.
student becomes a participant, not just passively taking in information.
Yes. And that's huge for entrepreneurs because, let's face it, running a business is tough. You need that drive, that resilience, that belief to keep going.
It's like building those mental muscles,
Yeah.
not just learning from a textbook.
Exactly.
And speaking of things beyond textbooks, we talked about how students in developing countries, they often have to work for a few years before they can launch their own thing
Right. Right.
to get experience, some financial stability.
Exactly. And this model actually factors that in.
Right.
Bhatnagar talks about faculty coaching.
Okay.
Professors guide students on how to apply their skills even while working those regular jobs. So they're not just waiting for the perfect moment.
Wow.
They're developing, building their network.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like getting real-world experience and building a safety net at the same time.
Yeah.
Not just jumping into the deep end, you're kind of wading in slowly.
That's a great way to put it. Equipping them with a toolkit. Whether they start their own business or become an entrepreneur within a company, it's fostering that entrepreneurial mindset.
This is so inspiring. It feels like a much more realistic approach, especially when resources are limited.
And that's the key takeaway. Effective education doesn't have to be expensive.
Right.
Focus on individual potential, leverage what's already there, and you can empower anyone to be an entrepreneur, no matter where they start.
It's about democratizing it, making it accessible. But this whole approach, this equifinality thing,
Yeah.
it feels like it could apply to more than just business, right? What if we use this in education, healthcare, even personal development?
Yeah.
Shifting from the right path to find your path.
You're absolutely right. That's what's so exciting about this. It can really level the playing field.
Yeah.
And not just in entrepreneurship. This idea, embracing equifinality, focusing on individual strengths, it could change how we approach learning in so many areas.
It's a powerful thought. It
Mhm.
makes me wonder, how could we apply this? How could we use equifinality to achieve our own goals, even if we don't have everything figured out? That's something to think about.
Absolutely.
And it's something that we'll explore right after this.
Okay, so we've talked about how Bhatnagar uses all these questionnaires and assessments to really understand each student.
Yeah. What happens then? How does all that data actually get used to, create a personalized learning experience?
Well, that's where the real magic happens. He takes all that information and he creates a customized learning plan for each student.
Wow.
It's not just about, here are your strengths. It's how can we use those strengths to reach your goals?
So it's like everyone gets their own personalized curriculum tailored to them.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the content, too. It's about what learning methods work best for each person. Some people, they learn by doing hands-on projects. Others, they might thrive in a more collaborative setting.
So you're really meeting them where they are, giving them what they need.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual learning either. It's also about that sense of community, fostering collaboration.
We talked about that earlier, how Bhatnagar encourages a more collaborative learning environment.
Right, right.
What does that actually look like, though?
Well, he uses things like group projects, peer-to-peer mentoring, even team-based competitions to encourage that learning from each other, supporting each other's growth.
I can see how that would be so powerful for students who haven't had a lot of opportunities to collaborate before.
Absolutely. It's about creating a space where they can take risks, try things out, make mistakes, and learn from them, but together.
It's not just about individual growth then, it's collective too.
Exactly. And that's one of the beautiful things, right? It's recognizing we're all in this together. We can achieve so much more when we support each other.
I love this shift from competitive to collaborative. It feels so important, not just in education, but everywhere.
It really is. In a world that can feel so divided, it's crucial to remember we're all connected. And we can do amazing things when we work together.
So Bhatnagar's work, it's not just about changing entrepreneurship education, it's about changing the whole culture, making it more collaborative.
Beautifully said. And that's what's so inspiring. It's not just about business. It's about being better human beings,
Yeah.
connecting with each other, building something meaningful together.
This has been incredible. I know our listeners are out there just buzzing with ideas,
I hope so.
but we're running out of time.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways you want to leave our listener with?
The biggest one, I think, is this. Entrepreneurship, it's not just for a select few. It's for anyone with a passion, a vision, who's willing to work hard. And with the right support, anyone can achieve those dreams. It doesn't matter where you come from or what resources you have.
Beautifully said. And that's a perfect note to end on. We've covered so much today. The challenges, this new approach Bhatnagar's outlined. We've talked about equifinality, individual strengths, and how powerful it can be to take a more inclusive approach to learning. It's been fantastic.
It really has.
And I want to thank you, our expert, for sharing all of this with us.
My pleasure.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little challenging. Remember, entrepreneurship, it's not just about starting a business. It's about a mindset, creativity, resilience, innovation. It's about taking ownership of your life, your learning, and your impact on the world. So go out there, be your own CEO, and make your mark. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.